Həsən Hümbətovun, is from the Neftçilərin, an autonomous region of Azerbaijan. The muezzin's voice can still be heard in the new quarters of Baku, where prefabricated buildings are sprouting up at a pace which nature unfortunately cannot match. Whole blocks are reserved for oil workers and their families, whose rent amounts to 4.5 rubles or $6 per month for an apartment of the kind we now see.
Həsən, çay gətireyim sənə? Yaxşı, gətirirəm.
Though in the same area, this shows a rather higher standard of living than is enjoyed by the ordinary workman. Həsən is an engineer, earning an average salary of 300 rubles or $360 a month, and his wife Reyna earns the equivalent of $140 at the Petrochemical Institute.
Çörək yemişsən sən?
Çörək yemişim, tutarım da biz şimdi.
Bunda tez yedim.
Tez işlem o.
İsti değil mi?
Yok. Aşama geçeceğim, hemen geliyorum. Elçin, papa yetişe dur oğlum.
Ben sənin payısını hazırım.
Elçin, dur kızım.
They have a son, Elchin, aged 4.5.
Hazırdır papa.
Həsən Hümbətovun works in a special sector which entails a different kind of life than most of the other workers. Twice a month, he leaves his family for a period of 10 days. On those occasions, he'll take a taxi, which will drive him through the city to the harbor.
Dəniz vazlarına biz neçə dəqiqə gedə bilərik?
Dəniz vazlarına 15 dəqiqə gedə bilərik.
15 dəqiqə geçə çatarıq ki.
Əlbəttə
After 10 days ashore, whereas the assistant to the party secretary, he participates in various forms of political and professional activity, such as civic education for workers, factory visits, and participation in information seminars organized by the party, Həsən goes to sea for the following 10 days period.
Bəli, hava bir gün sakitdir.
Sakit olsun ama ümumiyyətlə Bakının havası tez-tez
dəyişir.
dəyişir.
Tez-tez dəyişir də Bakı. Bakının adı Bazı Kuba.
For years, the Volgograd has raised its anchor at 9:30 every morning for the same uneventful voyage. Great gusts of sound emanate from a blaring loudspeaker, which compulsorily broadcasts the day's official radio program. Since the end of the war, the search for black gold has spread to the Caspian seabed, and new cities built on piles and steel cable have risen from the water off Baku. In order to reach the largest and most remote of these, the Volgograd will make a 70-mile voyage through oil-shot waves that smell of petrol in spite of the wind. it'll take 4 hours of a monotonous trip. Inside, people either sleep the time away or spend tireless backgammon games. Those with a solitary bent of mind indulge in endless daydreams, and a few flowers bought at a street corner before embarking add unexpected poetic note to the scene. The flowers come later. At about 1:30, the ship is within view of its destination. Neft Daşları, the oil stones. Others say the black stones. A Russian magazine has called it the Venice of the Caspian Sea, but one supposes a certain amount of poetic license. At first it was no more than a shallow area, reefs rising almost to the surface of the water in mid-sea, a place for shipwrecks, a nightmare for seafarers of old, rendered even more sinister by the spontaneous gushes of petrol that would lie on the surface in large patches, covering the rocks with a black, oily deposit. I'm much too early. That there was oil in this area has been known since ancient times, but not until 1849 was the first boring attempted by man. At the Blackstones, the ship's arrival is the major event of the day. At that time, all those who were not lunching at their place of work go down to the jetty to chat and exchange news with the latest arrivals, or even to embark, for the Golgograd sets off on the return journey 20 minutes later. When you leave the jetty, you find yourself immediately in the heart of town, if such it may be called. It's more a village, with small wooden houses, a sort of far west setting on piles. The square is obviously at the hub of things, a square without a name but with the only monument in the neighborhood, a statue of Lenin in white stucco, his stimulating gesture urging the population of the floating city to work. There are 5,000 of them, including 800 women. A hospital, a post office, a cultural center, a hairdresser's, a canteen and a grocer, such is the framework of the city's social life. At Neft Daşları, you get up early and you go to bed early. Alcohol is prohibited, and everyone has to know how to swim. So much for the modern city.